So, here we are again.
Here we are again.
This is the first video that we've recorded since August.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time, hasn't it? We've sort of gotten out of the habit a little bit. We did the last alpha update, and then we sort of just knuckled down, didn't we, for
Yeah.
launch?
When I reached up to get my microphone off of the shelf this morning, it felt like I was reaching for an old friend.
Yeah. Did a little pile of dust flutter down onto your
Yeah,
face as you lifted it down?
And then when I remembered I'd been talking to you, it was like an abusing partner.
Did you warm yourself up? Like, okay, we need the old magic.
Need the old magic. That's right.
We need some of that Alpha 20 magic that we used to have.
What drawer did I put the Alpha 20 magic in?
That was a good one, that one.
I can't remember what was in it.
No, I can't either. No, I think I don't know, I can't remember. It was one of the good ones I seem to remember. It was very funny.
Do you think that we need to be more formal because there's swathes of new players that have started playing Prison Architect?
Maybe.
Do you think we should talk about, like, I'm the producer and you're the director or whatever the fuck?
Think we shouldn't just assume that everyone, all these new players, know who we are.
It's like a new season, isn't it? Welcome to season 2 of the Mark and Chris show.
Yeah. This is the season when the main actors have left and the writers have moved on and it's all gone to shit. But you keep watching anyway because it was really good for the first 12 episodes.
It's completely wrong. Season 2 is when season 1's been a massive smash, so there's loads of money thrown at it. And there's enough of the old team left for it to be just astonishingly good. It's a funny feeling, we had this mad launch, didn't we? This huge launch when all we did from about the kind of, well, even before August, probably from about June, was just focusing on the launch, wasn't it? Going over to Gamescom to drum up some kind of European interest and working on skate mode
it was
in the
kind of
background.
non-stop, wasn't it, for sort of 6 months basically.
That's right. Like, every minute was just full on. It was like, it's like my life was like a John Woo film, but without the bullets.
Yeah.
You know?
You're jumping around the room in slow motion, answering phones with the left arm and typing emails with the right.
Yeah, that's what it was like. I had to use Siri. When I was driving.
Jesus, I do feel sorry for you for that one.
Because I didn't have enough time to reach out and
Yeah, everything we did was kind of critically important for version 1, wasn't it?
Well, at least felt it.
And we just kind of worked continuously like that for ages, didn't we? Didn't really stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got out the cycle of the alpha videos as well, and I think the alpha videos were really good for us because it forced us into a regular rhythm.
That's right. A rhythm that we need to find. But I think the launch went astonishingly well, actually.
Oh, it did. It went brilliantly well on any possible metric, really. I mean, we haven't had to update the game yet, which is always our biggest fear. Like a super emergency patch. Day 1, a critical failure or something. It's still version 1 up there now.
Yeah. 6 weeks later? A little less.
Yeah.
About 5 weeks. Isn't
it? It would have been nice to be able to carry straight on with the monthly updates, wouldn't it? But we just couldn't do it. Like we launched.
You're lunatic, man. You're lunatic. We were like flying back from the States, after being over there and doing that last crazy podcast when we were dressed in those onesies.
Yeah.
There wasn't any capacity left to be doing updates.
Yeah, I know, and that was all early October, wasn't it? That was only about a month ago.
Yeah.
I know
it does feel like a hell of a long time ago.
I know, it feels a bit like a different life. I mean, for quite a long time actually, October the 6th was kind of the end of my diary.
Yes, that's right.
I had nothing in my diary beyond that date, and I couldn't foresee what life would be like after that date. It's very weird, to be honest.
Yes, it is. I'm definitely still suffering from it. So maybe the season 2 opener is not going to be well liked by the critics.
Yeah, maybe. I know exactly what you mean. I've had it too, and I've had it after the launch of every single Introversion game, actually.
Yeah.
What I can only describe as a profound bout of depression just descends on me after a major project completion.
Yeah, and I think I know because I've witnessed it in you. And I think what's been different is that normally in the old days, that was when you passed the baton to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so now in the old days, we would still be massively like drumming up noise, you know, still doing interviews and things, you know, because we'd be desperately trying to get the word out there for PA. But because it's different this time, you know, because we've been talking about it, you know, the launch was an ongoing kind of thing. You know, both of us are at the same sort of, I don't know, just strange emotional feeling.
It's like you're at a complete loose end of what to do, isn't it?
I think
We know we have to do an update, but there's no longer a launch date on the horizon that we're working towards.
that's right. That's right.
It's now just open, and you can't. And also, I mean, that 6 months of working at that pace, you know, all of our, you know, you described it to me as feeling like all of our dials were turned up to 11. You know,
Yeah.
for 6 months, it was absolutely exhausting, but we're driven by just, you know, just the game's launching. You've got to just get it done.
Yeah.
And then it's the game launches, and you just kind of crunch, don't you? All the dials get turned down,
Yeah.
you know, and your brain reverts to a much more normal level, and you can't take it.
Yeah, well, I don't think my brain. Yeah, exactly. Like the world reverts back to a normal level, but your brain remains in this heightened state of anxiety. You know, because before you were just, you know, tense and nervous, and everything was important, and now nothing seems important anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely what I found. You know, that's why my work has slowed a bit, because it's just like nothing matters. It does, of course it does, but that's the perception. You know, and it takes a little bit of time to I think for us to kind of bubble back to normal.
Yeah,
you know?
and I keep reminding myself that this and my wife keeps reminding me that this always happens with a game launch for me.
Yeah.
It's nothing new, and it will pass. And I've seen it in other people as well. I've seen it in other game developers. And they don't even realize it's happening. They just have this crushing depression come down on them after launch. And everyone's telling them, what, you know, the basic gist of it is like, what have you got to be upset about? You know,
Yeah, exactly.
It went well. It's sold well. You've done well. It's reviewed well. You know, but it doesn't matter, right? It's not a rational thing. It's not based on the success or not of the launch.
Yeah,
it's based entirely on our own mental state. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that for the first time, you know, now that I'm an old man, 36, you know, I am able to simultaneously feel a bit miserable, you know, putting on the Pink Floyd, a bit depressed, and also hold the rational thought that I know why I am feeling like this and that it will go away.
Well, I think that getting back to the monthly update cycle for Prison Architect will be a big help for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that massively limits what we can do in a negative sense and forces us to get our acting gear. And then we will, if we don't, it's all on us. There's nobody above us in the company. So it'll just become obvious that we're totally failing.
Yeah.
And if we release like 2 updates next year, everyone will know that we completely failed at this objective, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think we will. I think that our natural
no
compulsion will force us to get back into the cycle of end of the month updates to Prison Architect.
Yeah.
Oh, that was quite a heavy intro, wasn't
good, it? Wow. All right, everybody, thank you for listening.
Welcome to Prison Architect, all the new players.
Tune in next week while Mark and Chris talk about their mental state.
Oh shit, man! We've just launched a fucking hit indie game and had more success than we've ever imagined before. Jesus.
I just can't take all the girls that are texting me, man. Exactly. This is my life now.
They're just throwing themselves at me now. Yeah. Well, now you're just talking rubbish, aren't you?
We are talking rubbish. So let's not talk rubbish. I'm sure that you've fixed at least one bug in Prison Architect over 5 months. Because everyone that was with us for the alpha process, thank you so much. I said thank you loads of times. You helped make Prison Architect reality. For the new people, it is our intention to carry on updating Prison Architect. We're not done with it. So what now follows is the first update. Yeah. Update, what are we going to call it?
Update 1.
You want to call it Update 1?
I think so. I think we're turning over a new leaf for me. I don't want to say that it's Update 37 or something like that. You know, that seems disingenuous to me. And it obviously isn't Alpha 37.
No.
And it's not Beta 37. And I don't know what else you call something after launch. So
yeah,
you know, it's not Patch 1. That doesn't seem right either. That implies it's just bugs.
Right.
So I think update 1.
Convention agreed. Prison architect. Update 1.
All right. Should we look at some shit then?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I think I'm going to start with something that we have actually yet to talk about in our alpha videos, just because of the way things worked, and that's escape mode. Right?
Yes, of course.
It's kind of weird because we demoed it on stage at EGX, but we never did an alpha video, did we, with escape mode in?
No, that's right. That's right.
So
We've never.
I'm not going to.
So do I need to pretend that I've not seen it then?
Yeah, this is a brand new mode, mate. You've got to escape.
Right, yeah. Oh, brilliant!
And it's ridiculously unbalanced.
Yeah.
I'm not really selling it, am I? No, I'm not going to demo escape mode, but I think that we can skip ahead and assume that people have seen escape mode by now, and assume that I think the general consensus of escape mode is that whilst fun, it's brutally unbalanced. And so we've taken away some of the brutal unbalancing that you find in the game.
Right.
So this is a test prison that I was using to demo it. You see there's an armory down here.
I do.
Right, you might remember during our demos of escape mode, we enjoyed breaking into the armory, didn't we, and running riot.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
So this armory is completely unsecure. Right? I've just let the doors are all locked open, and there's no. Yeah. This isn't a staff-only area, so this prison says I can walk around in here for free.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just for testing. Right, but I've changed the way that weapons work because I watched some Let's Players, that were playing escape mode.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they would get a shotgun like this, and that was it. Right. They just went on an absolute rampage at that point.
MBK.
Yeah, exactly. Basically that. So you can still do that, right? You can still go on your rampage because, it's a shotgun.
Yeah.
Excuse me 1 second.
What are you doing, man?
I got tased. I was unlucky. I'll try that again.
Try again.
Yeah.
Put a little cut in there.
No, I'm going to leave it in. It's an alpha video, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's not an alpha video, is it? It's not.
No, it's an update video, mate.
It's an update video. It's not
an
update video. We've got to stop calling it alpha then.
Calling it what? Update.
Give it a rest. What the hell? Yeah, all right, I am going to put a cut in now. All right, and we're back. So there we go. That's the first major fuck up of a post-launch update video.
Mate, I've been watching you now for 8 hours. Are you ever going to be able to achieve this?
How many edits can one put into one video?
How many times are you going to have to edit this sequence?
They're still following me, aren't they? You're still following me, aren't you? No, you're not. It's all right. So what I was explaining was, previously they used to get a gun like this, and then they just used to kind of shoot this guy like this, right?
Yeah.
And then begin the escape.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you can still do that, right? Breaking into the armory is still a major coup for your escape attempt. But now, like every other shotgun in the world, nah, I know you can't hear that because you don't have sound effects, do you?
It went. Let me guess.
It's going click, 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 and that chef is extremely brave.
Ammo.
He's just standing there while I click the shotgun against him.
Man, he is a hero chef.
So I'll drop that. Yeah, so...
Okay, so we've introduced the concept of ammunition.
Ammunition. So I'm just going to... So I'm going to come back here and nick this guy's taser. Give me that taser. Tasers only have one shot, right? And then you're done.
Yes.
Right? Makes a huge difference to the fight, actually. The other thing that you'll notice as well, if we come in here, is there aren't any more shotguns in here anymore.
Right.
Because we've already taken the shotgun, so we'll take the pistol next.
Okay, yeah.
So previously, you could bring... okay. Oh, man, you suck at shooting. There we go. You could bring 5 guys in here on your team, right? And all 5 of them could just take it in turns to pick up a shotgun.
It's like the A-team, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. So now, contraband generally, you can steal 1 item of contraband. There we go, amount of ammo. So you get this click, right? It doesn't tell you how many you've got left, so you say, oh, crap, just got to drop it. That's 0.
Does that change then, or is it always the same?
It depends on the weapon. So shotguns have always got 6, and pistols have always got 6. And surrender there. Yeah, so that's taken quite a heavy nerf, right? So now weapons are no longer the rampage that they used to be. You've got to be careful and conserve your ammo. And if you're going to make an escape using weapons, you've kind of got to figure out a way to use the first weapon and then chain onto another weapon,
Right.
And anything you steal, like if you steal a knife from the kitchen or whatever, you won't just be able to steal 5 knives from the kitchen,
Yeah, okay.
As soon as you surrender and get taken back to your cell, it all resets.
Right.
So you get to have another go. The other thing that was happening is that players were just wiping out all the guards and then surrendering, and then when they came back, the guards were all still dead.
Okay.
And that still happens, obviously. They don't come back to life. But the prison will now hire more guards to replace them.
Yeah, okay.
And they'll restaff up anybody that you kill. And other stuff as well. So any fires that you started will get extinguished, and any damage that you've done to the walls gets rebuilt.
Does that happen immediately?
No, it doesn't happen immediately. The game's got a kind of fairly poor virtual player, right, who's watching the game.
Yeah.
So if you burn down an external wall and then get captured, the game will request that the wall get rebuilt.
Yeah.
And workmen will go and rebuild the wall.
So could you in theory start a fire near your cell or something, go all the way over the other side of the map, right, for whatever reason, then get yourself surrendered so you wake up in your cell and still had enough time to nip through that burnt down wall? Possibly.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, but it'll be much harder.
Yeah.
And
it'll
be a, if you manage it, you'll have been a neat trick.
Right.
Whereas previously the walls would just remain. The state you left the prison in would just remain. So all that combined makes escape mode quite a lot harder, actually.
Yeah, good. Be interesting to see what people think about that.
Yeah, we've got more to do there, but it's a good start. I wanted to show you, actually, something to do with that. Check this out. Right, this is a fan-made Steam Workshop prison.
Okay.
And it's an escape mode puzzle.
Brilliant.
Right, so you get taken to your cell. I'm not going to play it right now because it's really hard.
Right.
But you can't go that way because there's armed guards down there. So you have to come this way, and there's
that is a fairly imposing corridor, isn't it?
There's locked doors everywhere. You go into this first room, and there's a little logic puzzle on the floor. Right, you got to press these things in the right order. I think it's this one. So the first one's easy, right? You just step on this thing, and then press the button, and the door opens. Right, and that's it.
Okay.
It's like a little simple combination lock. Then you go in the next one, and the next one's harder.
Right.
And then
brilliant.
And then when you zoom out, it gets even harder. Like, so you look at this one, it's ridiculous. Pretty cool stuff, right? I love things like that. I mean, it's almost like what's actually going to happen with that. How far are people going to be able to take that? So if I load this up in normal prison mode, we can take a look at your favorite view in the game, which is wire mode.
Wire mode, yeah.
There's the logic puzzle.
Wow.
In wiring. Look at that.
That is just nuts,
It's
man.
mental, isn't it? Look at all that logic, And there you go, mate. You were there in that video going, I don't like wire mode. It's too complicated. No one's ever going to make use of it. What the hell is the point of it? This is the point of it, mate.
See, normally at this point, I say, no, I didn't. It was my idea, right? But the problem with the alpha videos, where it's all committed.
The proof is there. Yeah, you do. It's true. You do normally conclude that everything was your idea, but if give it time, mate. Give it time. I think
give it time.
You'll be fairly sure that wire mode was your idea after a while.
That alpha video will mysteriously disappear from our YouTube channel, and then a year later, I'll start claiming it as mine.
Yeah,
that is brilliant. That is brilliant. I hope you've put the guy's name on the screen.
I'll put the guy's name on screen.
I should know what his name is, because
I
don't watch the videos after you've put them up.
Ah, yeah. Well,
you need to be more prepared.
Well, I don't care whether you know the name or not. I only care about whether the 150,000 people that watch the video hear the name.
But he cares.
No, he cares about the 150,000 viewers of the video, mate, not you.
Oh,
He doesn't give a flying fuck about you.
Okay.
Should we move on?
Let's.
Let's see. Let's load.
It's just amazing, these prisons.
Oh yeah, we can load that one if you like. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
That. It's just amazing.
I know. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, it just never ceases to just blow my mind.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty awesome. That. Pretty darn awesome. It's a shame. It's chugging a bit at the moment. Its frame rate's not so great. It's because I'm recording video at the same time on my poor little MacBook. So yeah, so I should show you some new intake options. Right?
Okay.
So if you go to the intake screen, so this is where you used to control how many prisoners you were going to get, right?
Yeah.
So you used to say, I want 10 prisoners a day. That was kind of your choice, right? 10 or 20. And people kind of said that wasn't quite enough granularity for them, like they had different requirements.
Right.
So this particular prison has a capacity of 280.
Okay.
So it's completely feasible that you might want to not really micromanage the intake.
Yeah.
But just say that you want to have 280 prisoners.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So you can have these options now.
Right,
so one of the options is fill capacity.
Right.
So it just automates the process. So if you ever drop below your capacity of 280, it will bring in some of the prisoners in the intake box in order to fill you back up.
Nice.
You can also go for total prisoners. Right? So this is if you want some more. So there's 284 prisoners there currently. So you might just say, well, I want to have 300.
Yeah.
So you can just choose an arbitrary number of prisoners that you want, and it will manage the intake for you every day in order to ensure that happens. Because on a daily basis, prisoners are leaving, right?
Yeah,
or dying, or escaping.
I think as well, I think that some people build their prison without any prisoners.
Yes.
Some of these huge creations, because they don't want to have to manage the prisoners while they're doing the building.
That's right.
And I imagine in the past they've just had to wait a long time for the prisoners to flow in.
Absolutely.
Whereas now they can just say, right, it's ready, fill my prison.
Yeah, exactly. They just say fill capacity is the one you have to think about the least, because it constantly updates to the capacity that you have within your prison.
Mm-hmm.
And closed does what it says. Obviously, doesn't let anybody in. And all available will just bring in every single prisoner that's available, which is obviously completely insane.
Yeah.
In this case, because you're going to get 300 inmates tomorrow. But you might do it because you're going to get $180,000 as well,
Yeah.
Bit of risk reward. Yeah, pretty cool stuff, right?
It is very cool, very cool. I think people are going to enjoy that.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at something else. I'm stopping myself from saying words that I sometimes say, like, let's look at something big.
Okay.
I'm going to look at something else.
Something else.
This is interesting. Oh, this is actually one of the campaign prisons, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's right, isn't it?
Well, it's all right. It'll do for a demonstration. One of the most common requests, even before the launch of the game, was bunk beds.
Yes, multiple occupancy.
Yeah, multiple occupancy. So
because I think the reason is because that's a very interesting part of prison life.
Yes.
The classic scene, it opens with the person being taken into prison.
Yes.
And the real moment when they shit themselves is when they're put in that cell and they see the enormous guy in there with the big tats.
Yeah.
Or whoever it is.
Absolutely.
That's in that cell with them. I think it's an enormous part of the fear of going to prison, actually.
I think you're right. And we haven't done it until now, but we now have it. So let's go into objects. So here's all my cells. I can go into objects, and in here I can find a bunk bed.
Right.
And I can put down my bunk beds. Here we go. Let's slap down some bunk beds. Let's put some this way as well. Now, it's not quite as simple as this, right? Because we want to remove the beds as well, don't we? Right. So what you do in the game now, we thought about this, about how we were going to do it, because we wanted to be able to have bunk beds, but we also wanted to be able to have like bigger rooms where you could have more people,
Right.
Because maybe you don't just want to have 2, right? Maybe you want to have a room with 4.
Yeah.
Or something like that, right? So we've kind of generalized it. So you can have another one. You can have another one like this. You can put 2 in.
Right.
And so our workmen will come along and install everything as usual, and just speed them up a little bit. And these will become shared occupancy cells. Now, the standard cell always requires a bed. Right?
Yeah.
And always has one prisoner, regardless of what you do, even if you put a bunk bed in. So we need to retag these rooms as dormitories. Right?
Okay.
Now, dormitories are any variable-sized room from size 2x3 upwards.
Right.
So I'm going to retag all these rooms as dormitories. And I can have as many as I like in here. I can put 6 people in here, I can put 8 people in here, whatever.
Right.
But it's a way of telling the game that you expect multiple prisoners to be housed within this one unit.
Right.
All right? There aren't actually any prisoners in this jail, by the way, in case you're wondering where they are.
I was thinking that. Yeah, where are they all?
Yeah, it's because it's ready to be loaded into the campaign, so they all go into riot mode straight away, so we don't actually want that. Now you can take that concept further, and you can go for a larger dormitory. You can build a dormitory any size you like.
Right.
So you can build a dormitory and it tells you it needs to have these things: bunks or bunk beds, beds or bunk beds, indoors, toilets, and I can pick bunk beds and just have a whole row of bunk beds like this.
Wow, well, this is a big change, man.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? I think it's
this is
cool.
going to really change the whole way people can build prisons.
It changes a large dormitory has a very different feel to anything we've seen before. We've seen holding cells before, but they're a bit different. Holding cells don't really give you any capacity. They're more like an overflow room,
Yeah.
They're more like where people go when there's nowhere for them to stay. Whereas a dormitory is a permanent place of residence for your inmates.
Yeah.
And actually, in real life, a lot of prisons never had dormitories until they became heavily overcrowded.
That's right. That's exactly how it happened.
And then the gymnasium became a dormitory.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They're just not designed for it. There's no more money, but you will take more prisoners. Figure out how you're going to do it.
Yeah. And so you kind of need to think about like how many toilets you're going to have and how many showers you're going to have. And you remember, I can't remember when, but 2 or 3 alphas ago now, it feels like forever ago, we did a whole process of showing room quality.
Yes, that's right.
So all of that is true here as well. We can go to room quality. And so there's our dormitories that we created over here.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's now updated. So it says you now get positive points for 6 squares per prisoner.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
It's on a per prisoner basis.
Yeah.
Or the number of shower heads per prisoner, or the number of TVs per prisoners. And so TVs, radios, bookshelves, chairs, pool tables even.
Right.
So 1 pool table for every 4 prisoners counts as a luxury.
Right.
2 pool tables counts as even more of a luxury. So it's all written in terms of the number of prisoners that you're serving within an area. Mm-hmm. So you can actually make a very luxurious large dormitory with lots and lots of facilities if you want to. And that'll have all the same connotations as ordinary room grading, which is to say that if you remember the way it works, prisoners are happy when they are in above quality housing.
Yeah.
Above average quality housing. So, if you can build a dormitory that's really nice quality, all your best behaved prisoners will be transferred into it.
So have you changed the AI, the prisoner AI at all?
Some. There's a lot of new AI that's gone in so that they understand. I mean, previously, to be honest, 1 prisoner per cell was fairly hard-coded into the game.
Right.
And we had to make a change for that. But they'll live their lives within the dormitory now. You can actually build a dormitory that takes care of a lot of their daily needs,
Do they get like hacked off? Because I'm wondering if there's any specific reason. Do they get hacked off because the other guy's like snoring, or some prisoners want the lower bed? And
there's the privacy. There's none of that. There's none of that. There's the privacy need.
Right.
And the privacy need is not well taken care of within a dormitory.
Yeah. Okay.
It's somewhat taken care of within. It depends how many people are in the dormitory.
Yeah. Okay.
If you've got your own cell, that's still regarded as the best.
Yeah.
But this is potentially we're extending the grading again between the worst possible housing and the best possible housing.
Yeah.
Prisoners in a cell might well be the happiest because they get their own cell and they have their own privacy. But you might well have a dormitory which is very, very well fitted out.
Yeah.
And that applies too. So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's seeing what kinds of different types of prisons we get,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I wonder if you could have a prison that only had dormitories.
I wonder if you could have a prison that was 1 dormitory.
Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? 1 massive dormitory.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be kind of crazy.
There you go, internet. There's the challenge. We want to see dormitories. I haven't written a spiel to close the update videos.
Oh no!
I used to tell people to buy the game and stuff.
Yeah.
Should I tell them to buy the game?
I don't know, mate. I think you should change it up a bit.
All right. Don't buy the game, anybody. The alpha's over. It's too late.
Yeah, you missed the boat.
You missed it. It's this was Prison Architect update 1. We hope you enjoy it. Welcome everybody who has just joined us. I'm gonna do that again.
You hope.
Okay, everybody, thank you for watching. That was update 1 to Prison Architect. Our next update video is going to be on Friday the 18th of December, so that we've got a little bit of time off for Christmas. Now, one final announcement, in case anyone's still listening. Myself and Chris and Leander, one of the programmers, is going to be doing an AMA on Reddit on Thursday the 3rd of December at 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
Woohoo!
Now, I know that the internet will struggle to work out what Greenwich Mean Time is.
Oh, are you sure it's Greenwich Mean Time?
It is.
You
3 o'clock. Yes, I'm certain it's not British summertime anymore. We will be in the pub, which is going to make it such a brilliant
Oh
AMA.
yeah, I forgot about that.
We're
We're going to start drinking at the beginning of
yeah,
the AMA, aren't we?
that's right. We're going to get there. So at 3 o'clock, we're going to order the first pint. So you're going to get Mark and Chris and Leander drinking. So from 3 o'clock, I'm sure Chris will put the times up in Pacific and whatever the other one is, Atlantic or whatever in the States. And we will see you then.